The Galactic Council's emergency session buzzed with nervous energy as Ambassador Kethavar of the Zephyrian Empire stood before the assembled representatives. His crystalline features reflected the chamber's holographic displays, showing devastating raids across 3 star systems. "The Void Stalkers have struck again," Kethavar announced, his voice resonating through the translation matrices. 17 colonies, 40,000 casualties. They're moving toward the core worlds. The massive chamber erupted in concerned chatter. The Void Stalkers were apex predators from the galaxy's outer rim, bipedal hunters with razor-sharp claws, enhanced reflexes, and pack intelligence that had terrorized civilizations for millennia. They struck fast, took what they wanted, and left only destruction. In the far corner of the chamber, Ambassador Sarah Chen of Earth sat quietly with her unusual companion. Rex, a German shepherd, lay calmly at her feet, his ears occasionally twitching at the alien sounds around him. The sight drew snickers from several delegations. "The humans brought their pet again," whispered Ambassador Threx of the Mantoid Collective to his neighbor. "How quaint that such a primitive species finds comfort in domesticated beasts." Admiral Voss of the Centaurian Republic leaned forward. "Perhaps we should discuss evacuation protocols. The Void Stalkers have never been successfully repelled by conventional forces." "What about the Terran fleet?" asked Counselor Yara from the Andromedan Union. "Surely the newest members have some suggestions." All eyes turned to Sarah, who remained seated as Rex stirred slightly. "Humans have experience with pack hunters," she said simply, "but you've already made it clear that our primitive methods aren't welcome here." The chamber fell silent. It was true. The galactic community had largely dismissed human military tactics as crude and unsophisticated. Their weapons lacked elegance, their ships were bulky, and their soldiers relied on what other species considered outdated concepts, like loyalty and courage. "With respect, Ambassador Chen," Admiral Voss said, "the Void Stalkers aren't like anything your species has encountered. They're 7 feet tall, move faster than your eyes can track, and hunt in perfect coordination. What could your people possibly—" An alarm klaxon cut through his words. Emergency lights bathed the chamber in red as Counselor Prime's voice echoed from the speakers. "Void Stalker pack detected. They've breached station security. All delegates to emergency shelters immediately." Panic erupted. The assembled aliens rushed toward the exits in a chaotic mass of scales, feathers, and mechanical appendages. Sarah stood slowly, checking Rex's tactical harness, something the other delegates had assumed was merely decorative. "Rex, work time," she said quietly. The dog's demeanor transformed instantly. His ears pricked forward, muscles tensed, and his dark eyes scanned the chamber with predatory focus. Centuries of selective breeding and training had created something the galaxy didn't understand. A perfect living weapon disguised as humanity's best friend. The main doors exploded inward. 6 Void Stalkers poured through the breach, their obsidian exoskeletons gleaming and razor claws extended. They moved with terrifying fluid grace, separating to corner the fleeing delegates. The lead stalker, standing nearly 8 feet tall, fixed its multifaceted eyes on the slowest evacuees. Its mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among its kind. Easy prey. It took 3 steps before Rex hit it. 100 pounds of muscle, bone, and fury slammed into the creature's torso with the force of a missile. The stalker, caught, completely off guard, crashed backward as powerful jaws clamped down on its throat with 300 pounds of bite pressure. The pack's perfect coordination shattered. Rex released the dying stalker and rolled away from a claw swipe, his movements flowing like liquid lightning. Sarah had drawn her sidearm but held fire. Rex was in his element now, and she knew better than to interfere. The second stalker lunged, expecting the easy kill their kind was accustomed to. Instead, it found itself facing something evolution had refined over millions of years. Rex feinted left, spun right, and his teeth found the joint where the creature's leg met its torso. The stalker screamed, a sound none present had ever heard before. The remaining 4 began to circle, their confidence evaporating. These weren't the mindless prey they usually hunted. This was another predator, and it was winning. Rex's tactical training kicked in. He drove the pack toward the chamber's center, away from the exits, using space and timing with surgical precision. When one stalker committed to an attack, Rex was already moving, teeth finding weak points his handlers had spent years teaching him to identify. Ambassador Kethvar, pressed against the wall with the other delegates, watched in stunned silence as the primitive pet systematically dismantled the galaxy's most feared predators. Each movement was economical, purposeful, the product of 40,000 years of partnership between human and canine. The last stalker, seeing its pack destroyed, attempted to flee. Rex pursued relentlessly, bringing it down at the chamber's threshold. As silence returned, the dog trotted back to Sarah's side and sat calmly, tongue lolling slightly, as if he'd simply retrieved a thrown ball. The assembled delegates stared in absolute silence. "This is impossible," Admiral Voss whispered. "Nothing fights Voidstalkers hand-to-hand and wins." Sarah scratched behind Rex's ears and his tail wagged. "You're right," she said. "Nothing fights them hand-to-hand and wins. But Rex isn't nothing. He's a good boy who's very, very good at his job." She looked around the chamber at the alien faces, some terrified, others awed, all humbled. "Humans didn't domesticate dogs," Sarah continued. "We formed a partnership. For 40 millennia, we've bred, trained, and fought alongside them. They're not pets. They're family. They're warriors. And they're the reason humans never developed a fear of pack hunters." Counselor Prime's voice crackled over the comm. "Security teams report station clear. How?" "The humans handled it," Kethvar said quietly. As the delegates slowly filed out, many couldn't help but glance back at Rex, who had resumed his position, at Sarah's feet, looking for all the world like a harmless companion animal. The galaxy had laughed at humanity's pets. None of them were laughing now.